Okay, welcome back to lesson 53. Before we join all the anatomy parts together, make sure you duplicate the torso because we will be designing on it. Or if you are designing on any other thing or want to remodel anything on the entire body, just make sure you may want to make duplicates of the anatomy, arms, legs, torso, or head, in case you want to come back to it on this model later on and do something or go over it. So I've made a backup myself because we will be using it later on. So once we've joined all the pieces together, we're going to press Alt and we're going to remesh them all together. I've remeshed these all together to 0.005 and then Control R to finalize the remesh. And then all I'm doing here is smoothing over with the grab brush, just holding shift, and then just smooth over all the creases and lines where it's necessary. Don't want to get rid of too many of the lines, but yeah, just so it is no longer, there we go, so it doesn't look like they're chopped up. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to also now bring up the just the normal torso, because what we're going to do is we're going to draw lines on in masking now. We're going to add some more detail to the front here. Now you could use the piece of clothing and mask it, but it's to do with the topology, so that's why we've duplicated the chest. Can't get my words out today. And now I'm just using the line mask tool. You can find that under your tool settings over on your far right there. And I'm using lines to mask the pattern I prefer. So I'm sort of just doing some sort of a triangular kind of pattern. I kept on going backwards and forwards and doing some different experimentals there. But I really do like the line. It just gives that really nice edge. I just really like it, to be honest. Instead of just freehand drawing. Also, you don't have to really use your graphics tablet at this point. As much as I love using my graphics tablet, when you're using the line tool, I don't know, might be quick on the mouse. I don't know, maybe. Not too sure. Personal preference, maybe. So anyway, I'm just going over the breast and then going to fill all the masking points around the body, going down on the outside, basically on the inside. Inside now of the where the golden borders are. We want to go all the way around. We want to put some kind of like a diamond on the back. So I did that. But actually, in the end, I just attached this all together and thought, you know what, I will make the diamond separate, as we will go over that in a future lesson, just for the back piece there. There's a few bits and pieces we'll need to do next, but when you're happy with masking, holding Control also erases the mask, so it does help. Make sure we get the bottom bit through the middle because we want them to join up. So holding Control erases the edges. It just gives it a nice final finish on the mask. Also helps if you've got mirror on, and we're just finishing off and just tidying up some loose edges, as you can see. So when we are done here, we're going to go over to mask. And then mask extract. You can add it to your favorites, your hotkey. You can right click it, add to favorites, and then you press Q for your quick menu. Make sure you untick the extract solid and then click OK. Grab your inflate brush and then just inflate it over. As you can see, as you're inflating it over, we're just bringing everything to the front, and then we're going to smooth down the edges and push and pull it in to make it look in line with each other with the grab tool. So it could take a bit of time. This can definitely take time doing this. Sometimes when you smooth things over, it'll shrink things down too much to the point where you have to grab it back out. Sometimes, depending on the radius of your brush, just be careful. I'm forever forgetting the radius size of my brush, and then suddenly I'm going a bit too far, and that's why some bits look too small. The borders look too small, and then some borders look okay. So always keep checking on the radius of your brush. You can use the brackets to size your brush, or press F to size your brush, or just change it at the top. It doesn't really matter. Again, personal preference. So on the front here, we've added some purple colour to the detail. This is so we can see it on the model. So we've added a solidifier and onto the front piece there, I believe, just so we can see what it would look like. So I'm just trying to remesh this here using the Blender remesh tool, and then after some trials and error I managed to get the remesh to work, and then we just have to now tidy it up. So this is the problem with this remesh tool in Blender. You have to do a lot of fixing and tidying up, which if you prefer, if you do want to buy the quad remesher that's in the Blender store in the marketplace, I would recommend that. But that definitely has helped me hundreds of times over remeshing stuff in the past, and it is very good as well. So we're going to go over and just tidy up the topology a bit. I think there's just too much topology, so we will be going over selecting all the edge loops, going all the way around, and then doing a checker deselect, and then Control X to dissolve, just like here is what we're doing here now. So we want to select checker deselect, make sure we're selecting the right lines to checker deselect, and then Control X to dissolve. So always keep note on which edges you are about to dissolve, because it could cause you problems later on. If you're dissolving an edge that could turn into an n-gon or something, like so, you just need to be careful and keep an eye on it, or just deselect it or re-put them in the edge loops like so. But yes, it's a bit trial and error, and it's good practice as well. Okay, so that wasn't quite lined up on the z-axis here. I'm just lining up the edges here along the z-axis, as you can see. I'm scaling it onto the 0 axis, and then I'm using the mirror modifier because I want to mirror this, since the body is also mirrored. So all we have to do is change one side to affect the other side. So it's very, very handy. It's a quick workflow too. Turning something from that's one object into a mirror, it helps a lot. Okay, so as you can see with the border, the purple borderline, we've added in the only modifiers we've really used for this entire model is the solidifier for the borders, subdivision surface, and mirror. Now and again, I might use shrink wrap for the purple border along with the golden border for just to attach it to the clothing piece. It might make it look more in sync with each other. We'll probably play about with that later. We probably will do that actually. But yeah, so this is what it looks like so far. We just need to edit the purple borders there and bring it out and just change it and edit it a bit. I thought I did put some gold inside the diamond sort of shape there just to see what it looked like, but I will be removing that. And we are just literally sculpting tool using grab and moving things in and out and making everything place nicely. So I think that's everything for this lesson, and I will see you in the next lesson.